The story begins with a view of a cabin at night. Inside it, we see a clock depicting the midnight hour. The inside of the cabin is quite curious. There are a few interesting items there. One of them is a mask, and another is a painting of a young girl. The table has dishes placed on it, complete with cutlery sets. It seems like two people are about to have a meal. For several seconds, our attention is brought to a wooden lock on a door. The scene switches to a woman with her daughter Sarah as they approach a house on Halloween. When the homeowner opens the door, Sarah asks if she likes her mask. But Sarah's mom implies the question she asked isn't the right thing to say. Thus, Sarah corrects herself by saying trick or treat. Once asked about her colorful mask, Sarah gets excited and says she's the one who made it. Afterward, we see an older couple who has arrived at the same cabin. The woman, Mary, complains about its eerie appearance. Upon looking around, she tells her husband, Jeff, that he's taken them back in time. The man thought the brochure's description of there being no modern amenities in the cabin meant there just wouldn't be a TV. Mary picks up a book and comments how someone has a sense of humor about the place. It is a thick book with an interesting title, perhaps intentionally referring to the cabin as being a form of hell. Jeff claims they will only be there for 1 week. Soon he apologizes to Mary for not collecting her candy. His excuse is that his hands were full. Mary does not know what she will do without her candy for 1 week. She reminds Jeff how cranky she could get. Shortly after, Sarah knocks on their door. Jeff tosses all the items in his hands on the floor and opens the front door to receive the girl. The poor girl hardly has time to say the iconic Halloween phrase to him before he steals her bag of candy. Once the wicked man returns to Mary with a bag, she strangely asks him where her doll is. She depicts the same twisted behavior as Jeff when she hides the candy in the grandfather clock while hearing Sarah behind the door, asking to have it back. When Sarah enters the cabin, she sees Mary sitting there. When she asks to have her candy back, the woman fires back, calling her tenacious. She also feigns ignorance regarding what the girl is talking about. Mary tells Sarah that she is free to look around the cabin for her bag, but all Sarah finds is a creepy doll. She does not like closets and thinks there is someone in this one. Getting upset, the woman says she doesn't have Sarah's candy. Therefore, she wants the girl to either find it or leave. It doesn't take long for Mary to claim she found it. There is a bag in the back of the closet, she says. This news prompts Sarah to draw near the closet, but she is too scared to enter the dark place. Mary grabs the girl and tells her she will either look in there or go away. Sarah thinks there is someone in there, but Mary laughs it off, saying that Sarah is the only one in the closet. She puts the girl inside. Jeff closes the door on her and even sits near it to block the exit. The poor girl pleads to make it sadder. She says they can have her candy. Then she screams and the door rattles, scaring Jeff off the chair. He fearfully reaches for the door, hesitant to open it. This segues into a strange moment of a loud whisper, waking up Mary as she sits on the chair. The whisper sounds like it could be from Sarah, asking where she is. Mary looks at a menacing mask on the wall near her and asks Jeff where she is, before reaching for the candy that isn't hers. The man says he saw a light in the bedroom earlier and thinks she might be up there. The film starts to become somewhat surreal when Mary claims the girl made another mask while pointing to the one near her. Suddenly, a figure quickly walks by with a similar mask, adding to the creepy atmosphere. The couple doesn't seem to see the peculiarity, even though they should have. Jeff tells Mary that he does not like the mask. He also thinks they are getting creepier. But Mary complains about being in a worse situation, for Sarah put the mask closer to her. The first mask she made wasn't bad, according to Jeff. We see the one he refers to. Soon Mary gets up to look at the second one. She considers it to be creepier and likens it to a fish. However, nothing scares her as much as what is underneath the masks. Getting stranger, Jeff says he's seen her without her mask one time. This is something Mary does not want to know about. After we see a fourth mask, Jeff says she doesn't want to know what Sarah did to Mary's doll. The woman reflects how she tried to drag her into the closet the other day. He wants to know where he was, and she tells him he was gone, like always. Mary now has a book, which isn't the one we saw upon their arrival. It is a book about masks, and it does not possess the information she would like it to have. It merely talks about how their subconscious minds helps make the masks, how the colors they see inspire moods, and how they listen to their inner voice. Yet it has no information regarding why Sarah is angry with them, or what she is trying to tell them. It's strange how she is confused about the first part. Perhaps stealing someone's belongings and keeping the person in a closet might cause them to be angry. But instead of this rational thought, we get Jeff saying that he finds it very strange, because he never even spoke to her. Then the closet door slowly starts to open by itself, prompting him to say he found her. Mary tells him to distract Sarah and muses that the girl likes him. After those words, she walks away with the candy. Later, Jeff looks at the painting of the girl on the wall. There is a teardrop trickling down her face, and he hears a whisper asking why she is crying. He looks down to see a dollhouse. Hearing the girl say the house is hers, he peeks through its tiny windows to look at the miniature interior. Soon the whisper repeats, asking why the girl is crying. Eerily, Sarah's voice says it's Jeff's fault. With those words uttered, the mask near him slightly falls. An unintelligible whisper comes with it. Jeff holds the mask to inspect it, and the odd whisper repeats faster several times. A strange figure rushes towards him, screaming it's his fault, making him fall back in terror. The man looks ahead for some time before getting up. He slowly walks to a chest and opens it. Inside lies a book titled The Girl Picture Frame. As Jeff is looking through the book, the closet door slowly opens behind him. The chair abruptly moves to startle him. From the closet, a ball rolls to him, while Sarah whispers to him to pick it up. She then commands him to play with it, so he rolls it back into the closet. Once the ball rolls back, Sarah whispers for him to come closer. After doing that, Jeff rolls it back into the closet. This time, the ball rolls out a very short distance, and the girl wants him to approach even closer. Jeff struggles to crawl to the ball. Reaching for it, he tries to pick it up with hesitation, perhaps being scared of how close it is to the dark closet. The moment he touches it, Sarah suddenly scares him with her hands. The next scene has Jeff sitting still. Mary asks him what he was thinking in a scolding tone. He tells her he doesn't know. There are holes in his memory. He cannot remember what just happened. It was like a dream, he says. The man remembers finding a book in the chest. He also remembers getting dragged out of the closet by Mary. He was conscious of his actions up until he found the book. Then it felt like his will was no longer his. When Mary asks whose will was it, he can't answer. He walks over to the menacing mask on the wall to look at it. Jeff also tries to take Mary's candy, but she does not let him. Subsequently, she asks him what book he was talking about. Her mentioning it oddly makes the book appear on the table. Jeff gives it to her, saying it's filled with photos of people crying. The single photo he recognized is the one on the first page. Mary turns around to look at the painting of the crying girl on the wall. Everything she is looking at in the room is in the photo. Soon Mary asks Jeff what was in the book that made him crawl into the closet, but he can't remember. Getting very strange, he knows it happened because she told him it did. After she gives Jeff the book back, she tells him dinner is ready, yet he doesn't remember her preparing it. On top of this, the stove does not work. To add to the mind-numbing peculiarity, the two seem to have lost their sense of taste. Sarah's candy is also useless now. Mary claims to have an insatiable sweet tooth, and she can't satisfy it. Then she quickly turns around with a closed platter of food to experience something bizarre. Jeff is sitting at a fancy table. It came out of nowhere. Of course, the strangest thing is that neither of them says anything about it. Jeff asks where she is, meaning Sarah. Mary does not see her. Looking at a new mask on the wall, the couple sees it looks like a demon, the most menacing mask thus far. When Mary lifts the lid of the platter, a book is revealed instead of food. The title of this one is Living with Our Demons. But Jeff tells her not to worry, for he's had no appetite for some time now. Later, Mary reads the book and says it's full of poems. They are dark and full of despair. She thinks the author must have stayed in this cabin because he talks about the things in it. As she talks, we see Sarah wearing her mask against the wall. After she moves away, Mary starts reading one of the poems. It starts by saying how a sense of déjà vu washes over the author. The masks they have hidden behind are on display, and the faces of those they have most wronged are hung for them to see. Skeletons in their closets take shape, lurking in the dark while waiting for them to drop their guard. The poem goes on to say that the clock ticks away where time is irrelevant. There will be an eternity to figure this out. The devil who whispers in their ear is not the only one they have to fear. His aim is as precise as he is misleading, and he will give one no audience to hear them talk. Upon finishing the poem, Mary says the creepiest part is that there are two poets behind this piece. They are none other than the couple in this cabin. Soon she notices Jeff isn't present. There are two candies on the table, which she pushes to the floor. She drops down on the floor herself and slowly reaches out to the candies. At this moment, a figure quickly runs nearby, scaring her. This prompts her to ask Jeff where he is, and a demonic voice tells her to find him, frightening the woman even more. Mary looks around the cabin, hearing Sarah whisper to her. The girl asks where she is. Then Mary cautiously starts to ascend the stairs, where she discovers the two candies on one of the steps. On the step above lies the scariest mask, a black demon. This means the situation will keep getting uglier. Sarah whispers to her it's time to play hide and seek. Mary looks in the middle of the room and observes someone sitting there. She asks Sarah if she is with her doll. Not answering her, Sarah whispers again, prompting Mary to play with her. But Mary says Sarah hurt and touched her. Once Sarah whispers where she is hiding, Mary tells her the girl is right in front of her. Reaching out to her, Mary gets startled by Sarah moving the doll. Following this, Mary wakes up on the floor. Seeing her doll, she crawls to it. Suddenly, Jeff runs by, telling her to tell Sarah she hid the candy. He then hides himself. Sarah whispers to Mary again, asking her where she is. It seems like Mary has had enough of this torment, causing her to yell that she doesn't know. She yells it a few more times, and Sarah tells the broken woman to find her. The demonic voice also returns, commanding Mary to find her. She keeps getting haunted by Sarah's whispers. Mary yells that she doesn't know, until she sees Jeff sitting on the chair. The door rattles behind him, making the man stand up in fear like he did earlier. After he opens the closet door, the couple stares at a possibly lifeless Sarah lying on the ground. Picking up the empty tray of candy, Mary asks Jeff what he did with them. Angered, she slams him down with a tray. Then she kneels near him to apologize. As she does, Sarah suddenly pops out of the closet, wearing a demon mask to roar at her. The girl follows this fearful action by dragging Jeff into the closet. In a short time, we hear Mary suffering and urging Sarah to stop hurting her. She also gets dragged into the closet, before waking up on the chair. Looking at the mask on the wall, Mary asks Jeff where she is. With those words, the strange story concludes. It seems like the couple is doomed to repeat this fate for an uncertain amount of time, for the crime of taking Sarah's life.